Hi everyone, Will here with Focus Live. Well, the announcement that a New Zealand citizen contracted the coronavirus whilst overseas in northern Italy possibly came as a shock to all of us, but perhaps none more so than the principal of Westlake Boys School, David Ferguson. David, one of the students, we understand, that comes to your school as well as Westlake Girls down the road is the child of this woman who's contracted the virus. How concerned are you?
Well, it was a shock to hear the news this morning. We were contacted soon after 9 this morning by the Ministry of Education. That was followed up with a conference call with the Ministry of Education, a representative from the Auckland Regional Public Health, where we were given the information that we needed, that one of our community was the second person in New Zealand to contact the virus. We subsequently liaised with the Ministry and put out a communication just after the press conference in Wellington around midday to all of our community to let them know the news. Yeah.
Have you spoken to the Ministry of Health as well, and what have they told you in terms of managing the situation here at the school?
Yeah, I mean, we're a school, we're not a medical facility, so we rely strongly on the advice from the medical experts, and they were very clear with the information that they gave us. They reassured us that there was no cause for alarm as far as our students are concerned, that the school should stay open as usual, so we acted on their advice.
Have they notified you? Obviously they're testing this family as they're now home in self-isolation. Have they told you what the next steps are? If those children were to test positive or something like that, is the next step closing the school? Where to from there?
No, I mean, the advice we were given was that because the son in this case had no symptoms, they would be, I presume, testing them, but there was nothing to worry about, and that the family are in isolation, and that's as much as I know.
Did you table the idea of a school closure, or do you have measures in place that could action that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not at this stage. That wasn't the advice we were given. I think we would only do that with advice from the Ministry of Education and from Auckland Regional Public Health or the Ministry of Health. So we are in communication with those organisations, and if things change, then we'll respond appropriately, I guess. Yeah.
We spoke to a few relatively concerned parents outside the school who obviously received the email and the notice from you.
My son has a slightly compromised immune system, so anything that's at risk makes me feel very nervous, but the school has advised that there's no child that has coronavirus or at all, so I've already spoken to the school about it, and that's apparently all that I can do, and they don't authorise my son to stay at home.
They don't authorise your son,
no,
but even with an immune deficiency?
Well, it's not. He just is very easy to get a cold, and when he gets a cold, he gets quickly run down. So I just was worried about that, but they have their protocol to go through, and they assured me that there was no risk to my son, and that they've been advised by the public health system on what to do, and this is what they've told me.
Is that comforting enough? Because I feel like that would not be
No, but I'm going to talk to my son today and see how he feels about it. So,
school has sent us some email saying that everything is fine, it's safe to come to school.
Do you feel comforted by that?
Not really, no, I don't think so, because they just inform us right at the very last minute, which is not good enough. It's not soon enough.
How are you feeling about the government's response in terms of this person flies into New Zealand, flies to Palmerston North, flies back up?
It's quite irresponsible. She should be quarantined herself for 14 days instead of flying domestically around Palmerston North, back again, and then somewhere else back again. It's not responsible, no.
What about the boys? How are they sort of coping with this announcement? Have any of them had any concerns, any issues, and what are you telling them?
We had a consistent message from staff to all the boys, just to let them know what had happened, to tell them that we'd written to their parents, and that they just needed to carry on as usual. I was out in the grounds at lunchtime. It was pretty settled. A couple of the boys were talking about it, but it didn't really feel a lot different to usual at lunchtime. Yeah.
So just to clarify, if parents were to want to keep their kids at home, the school wouldn't have a problem with that?
Well, we're not going to condone it, but we can't force parents to send their sons to school. If parents are concerned and have any further questions, I'd urge them to contact us, but I think reading the letter that we've sent out this morning is a great start. We expect to receive further communication from the Ministry of Education this afternoon, and as and when we receive that, my expectation is that we'll be communicating further either later this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
All right, David Ferguson, we really appreciate your time. We'll have breaking news throughout the day at nzherald.co.nz and be here as well on Facebook Live. Bye for now.